Cheers and welcome back to my corner of the internet. I'm Shannon. This little guy over here is Bernard. He's my October co-host. And today we have a tea talk video to share with you guys. I've got my one and only Halloween mug. It's got the witch legs there and it says bewitching. And it's such a big, perfect size mug. I absolutely love it. The tea that I've got in that mug today is the organic Mother's Little Helper from David's Tea. This has quickly become one of my favorite teas from David's Tea. My daughter gave it to me for my birthday and it's so good. It says minty, citrusy, and relaxing. It's all of those things. It says the great escape. Need a little relaxation? Try running for the shelter of this Mother's Little Helper. One sip and you'll feel like you've spent the day at the spa. Well, I mean, let's not get carried away, but it is very tasty. The ingredients are organic peppermint, lemongrass, hibiscus, rosehip, chamomile, valerian root with corn flowers and natural peppermint flavoring. If you love peppermint tea, chamomile tea, you would love this. All right, so with that in mind, cheers. What can we talk about today? One of the things I've been wanting to talk to you guys about, because I know some of you watch it, and that's American Horror Story. We're I think 3 or 4 episodes into this season, and it's so good. This season is probably my favorite since Murder House. Murder House was the first season, and I love this season. There's a ton of crossovers this season. You've got some Murder House elements, some major Coven elements, even some hotel elements, and it's just all coming together. And I can't wait to see what happens next. It's so fun getting to watch these actors play their characters from multiple different seasons. Like so far we had Sarah Paulson be her character from this season, Apocalypse, and that character died, and now she's her character from Coven, Cordelia. We've had Evan Peters playing his character from this season, but then also in this week's episode we've had him briefly play Mr. March from the hotel season. I'm assuming we're going to have him playing Tate from Murder House. I don't know how that's going to come into it, but I'm sure it will, and I know everyone is sort of rooting for it. Tasia Farminga's back playing her Coven character, and I feel like she's also going to be playing her Murder House character Violet, because the two actors that play her parents in Murder House, they've also filmed for this season, so it's just, there's so much going on and it's so fun. I'm absolutely loving the Michael Langdon character. It's so fun, and I feel like him and Tate are somehow going to come into each other's presence, because Tate of course is his father, and every week I look forward to it so much. Another thing I've been loving, we're just getting around to, we're just on the first episode, but I already know it's going to be so much fun, and that is the limited series on Netflix called Maniac, and it stars Emma Stone and Jonah Hill, and I think it's going to be pretty crazy, the whole season, or the whole series, because I guess it's just these episodes and then it's done. So yeah, another thing I'm really looking forward to on Netflix is there's going to be a TV show coming up, I think on October 12th, that's based on the book by Shirley Jackson, The Haunting of Hill House. I'm really curious to see what this is all about, because based on the trailer, it has nothing to do with the book by Shirley Jackson, The Haunting of Hill House. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it'll all play out and it'll all make sense. I'm thinking maybe, because The Haunting of Hill House, if you've read the book or seen the movie, it was made into a movie I think in '99 starring Catherine Zeta-Jones and Liam Neeson, and the movie was just awful, but the book's so good and I love a good haunted house story. So if you've seen the movies, you know that this trailer, I'm thinking maybe it's going to be showing us ways that the house became haunted. I don't know, I can't wait. But if you haven't seen the trailer yet, definitely look it up, and it looks like it's gonna be fun. A nice, fun, scary series, and it's getting good reviews so far, so I'm excited to see how that turns out. Cheers. let's talk a bit about YouTube. Have you been watching the Shane Dawson and Jake Paul series that Shane Dawson is putting out? It's an 8-part series. 4 parts have been released already, and part 5 comes on Monday, I think, and part 5 is when Jake Paul is finally in the series. Up until now, it's been a lot of Shane talking about, because the focus of the series is on Jake Paul, but also on more than Jake Paul. It's also about sort of mental health as it can correspond to YouTubers, things like that. He's got a psychologist, I think she is, working with him, or a therapist. One of the videos is kind of just the two of them talking about sociopaths and narcissists, and kind of wondering if Jake Paul and also maybe his brother Logan, although Logan's not really the focus of the series, if they are or are not sociopaths. So that's interesting. This one is quite a bit longer than any of Shane's other series that he's done on YouTubers. There's been, of course, the Graveyard Girl series, which I love. The one on Jeffree Star, which was good as well. And so this one, it's so long. I think it might be too long. I think as time goes by, he's losing some of the viewers, some of the hype around it. People are like, just get to the point already. And honestly, I don't even know what the point's gonna be, you know, at this stage in it. I know that Jake Paul had nothing to do with the editing or, you know, the final production of it, which I like. So I think people are kind of wanting Shane to go harder on Jake than he did with, you know, Jeffree or Graveyard Girl or Tana or anybody. And, you know, I think for Shane that's difficult for him because his, as he says in the videos, his instinct is the role of helper and healer, and once he spends time with someone and gets in their energy, I think he feels for them so much that it then becomes difficult for him to go hard, which we even kind of saw with in the last video, part 4, he was interviewing Nick Crompton, who was a member of Team 10, and until this series started, I'm talking about all these people like I have a lot of knowledge. Everything, pretty much everything I've learned about Jake Paul and Team 10, I've learned from this video series, so it's very interesting. Of course, I had heard about Logan Paul before because of his whole controversy that happened right before YouTube made its major changes with 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of view time. But anyways, he's interviewing Nick Crompton, and Nick's giving his answers, and Shane's responding to it. And it's actually Andrew, Shane's cameraman, who then sort of jumps in and keeps pushing Nick and kind of, you know, because Nick's trying to paint it like Jake Paul's, that everyone who spends time with Jake Paul just loves him and thinks he's a nice guy and whatnot, when, you know, what we see with Team 10 just hemorrhaging members and new members coming in, and with people making videos with very serious claims and accusations against Jake Paul. And like Andrew spoke up and said, he said, you know, if even half of what these people say are true about him, if even a quarter of the things that these people say are true about him, he doesn't seem like a nice guy that everybody loves. Which made me think, it made me wonder if, so Nick was hesitant to talk to Shane. He finally agreed to once Shane got permission from Jake. Jake said it's fine, he can talk about it. And Nick says that's because, you know, he doesn't feel it's his place to talk about people's private business. And I get that, and I think it's great. But it also made me wonder if maybe Nick and all the members, or a majority of the members that have left Team 10, are still bound by NDAs, which are non-disclosure agreements. And usually, especially once you're leaving a project, a lot of times when you're involved in a project, you have to sign them saying, you know, whatever happens here, I won't speak about it. And a lot of times those NDAs can carry on into after you've left a situation. There might be a time frame on it, like for the next 5 years you can't speak about anything you've seen here. So who knows? I don't know how much of what Nick Crompton says we can trust, because he might be under an NDA. But he might not be. I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I enjoy Shane's content so much, and I know he's received a lot of flack for this series from people saying that he shouldn't be using mental health as entertainment. him saying, you know, the editing of the videos are edited so well. Like Andrew, who does a lot of the filming and works with him for the editing, I mean, they do a fantastic job of the editing. And of course, he wanted to sort of up the ante, so they put in some scary music, some scary sort of tense clips to just do that, to make it more intense. And people had a problem with that. People had a problem with a lot of things. But I mean, honestly, that's what happens in documentaries and YouTube videos, you know. You want to make it as intense as you can, so I don't fault him for that. The only thing I really have to say about it is it seems like it's dragging on a little bit too long. I understand that they had hours and hours and hours of footage to sift through, but 8 parts, and like we're not talking 8 like 10 or 20 minute parts. They range from like 40 to 50 plus minutes each part. So I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. But I'm enjoying it, and I appreciate the hard work that Shane puts into his work. So let's take a tea sip before we move on to the last thing.
Oh, bless you, Trixie.
The final YouTube thing I wanted to talk about today, and final thing in general, honestly, is a vintage YouTuber that I've recently stumbled across. Her name is, and I'm probably gonna say it wrong because I've watched most of her videos, but I don't think I've ever heard her say her name. So forgive me if I'm butchering this, but it's Carolina Zabrowska? Sorry if that's wrong, but she is fantastic. She makes a lot of really interesting videos about vintage fashion. She'll do some where she's just talking about it. Like one is called 1920s Fashion is Not What You Think It Is. She also makes videos like this one here says, Are period drama costumes historically accurate? And I love watching that because if you've been around here for a while, you know I love period dramas. I love historical fiction, whether that's shows, movies, books, all of it, I love it. But the content that Carolina makes that I love the most is she does historical get ready with me's. Yes, and they're exactly what they sound like. She sits down and she gets ready as though she was from a certain period. Like this one here, Get Ready With Me, 1784 edition. I just love it. She sits, she does her makeup the way it would have been done for the time period. She does her hair the way it would have been done, and then to finish it off, she puts on a outfit that is accurate from the time, and it's absolutely fascinating. Plus, she's got this wonderful personality. I'm so drawn to her. She's a little awkward, she's funny, she's such a joy to watch. And I just wanted to share her with you guys in case any of you are like me and love that kind of stuff. I think you'd love her videos. And it's just amazing to see, you know, and as she's doing the Get Ready With Me's, you know, she's explaining how and why things were the way they were for the time period, and it's so interesting. It's so interesting. I think you'll love it. I will link her channel down below just in case you do want to head on over and check it out. She's a bigger YouTuber. She has, I think, like 150,000 subscribers, or probably even more than that now, but it's a great channel, and there's something really genuine about her. So cheers. That's it, I'm out of tea, so I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Bye.